Hi there. This video is about to explain the levels of mercury in certain types of sea creatures. I had made a poll and people have decided that swordfish is the creature that will hold the highest levels of mercury, and in general that is correct. But let's explain why. First and foremost, the length of the life cycle of a creature, how long it lives, has a lot to do with the amount of minerals or heavy metals it will have inside its body, especially in sea creatures because they are bound by the water surrounding them. So the longer they live, the higher the chances of chemical accumulation in their bodies. Secondly, it's where they are positioned in the food chain. If they are predatory, so they are high up, they tend to eat a lot of other small creatures, which will enhance the amount of heavy metals inside their bodies because of bioaccumulation. Third point that is to consider is the environment they live in. If they're living in clean waters, the levels of heavy metals such as mercury will not be that significant. However, if they live in murky waters like port areas, the levels of such heavy metals will be much higher. A common question I get because of the point I mentioned with the life cycle is, so should we eat baby swordfish then? Because these will be containing less mercury. While the logic is correct, it is very unsustainable to eat baby swordfish because if you eat the babies, they will not leave any other babies behind them and this stock will collapse. So I do not advise to do that. It's not a good idea to eat fish that live inside ports, and this is a good example about the environment surrounding the sea creature. When we fish out fish in port areas, they tend to have a much bigger bioaccumulation of heavy metals due to the machines that operate inside the port, such as engines from ships and other motor vessels. I wanted to make a last point about oysters. Oysters are eaten raw. They're, as far as I know, rarely cooked, so they're eaten raw. And in biology, they tend to survive by filter feeding. So imagine the oyster is a filter, it sucks in seawater and blows it back out. But in the process, it will extract its nutrition from the water itself. So, if there is contamination in the water, it will also be absorbed by the oyster itself. They are very, very sensitive to the environment they live in. So, although we're saying that the swordfish has the higher amount of mercury by statistics, if oysters are grown in contaminated waters, they will bioaccumulate a considerable level of mercury. In this case, that will be harmful. So the last piece of advice is this: eat a balanced diet, a little bit of everything that's available in your area, and that would be the best type of diet you can consume for health. Stay safe.